One Question is designed to give subscribers valuable insights on how executive leaders in college athletics think about key issues on their respective campuses, in their departments, or within their leagues and conferences.
Greetings, this is Ty Brown and welcome to One Question, where we highlight executive leaders in college athletics. Our guest today is Kirsten Ford. Kirsten is the Associate Commissioner and SWA at the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. Greetings, Kirsten. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Ty. Thanks for having me.
Now, Kirsten, you've been in college athletics for a total of 7 years, including graduate assistantships. And now you find yourself in the role of Associate Commissioner, right? And the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference, you know, over the last 5 years, every year there's been a school who either comes into the conference or leaves the conference. Tell me about, as an office, the culture. Do you guys just accept that as this is a part of the culture here working at the conference, or do things all of a sudden go in motion? Tell me about how that affects you guys as a conference.
We're fortunate that we have, at least 14, 15 members that are very stable, and we've always been above that 14 number. For us, getting to 16 is important as far as scheduling goes, especially with basketball and having those two equal divisions. But it's something you learn to roll with the punches with membership changes. And we have progressive and open-minded presidents that, are always open to adding institutions and, making sure they fit within our conference. It's a little more difficult when you lose institutions just because it's usually a little more short notice. And at that point, you go into, okay, what do our schedules look like? Are we going to have to make changes? How does that impact our institutions? What's the next step for our conference as we reassess membership?
Now, schools sometimes will make an immediate decision. We're taking off, right? Or sometimes coming into a conference is a little more planned out. But can you give us the process, like when a school tells you they're leaving, or the process when a school, the plan you have in place when the school comes in? Tell me about those two probably vastly different scenarios.
Yeah, and I think it depends on where the institution's going. So Western New Mexico, they left. They went to the Lone Star Conference. Dixie State is now going to a Division I conference with the WAC. So with Dixie State, we were very much a part of that process. They let us know they were entertaining going Division I. So we know the value of Division II, the balance between academics and athletics, the high access ratio to postseason. And so we're part of the process trying to just at least make sure they understood the value of Division II and the value of being within the RMAC. So we're going to campaign to keep institutions as much as possible if it makes sense for our conference. At the point where they leave, obviously we're going to respect their decision, but we're going to then start reassessing where we're at. We've done membership studies, so at that point we go back and we look at those studies and we see, what those key players were. We reevaluate and see if those are still key players. For us, we're spread over 5 different states, and a lot of our institutions are here because of geography, so that limits us as well, to who we're going to go after, that kind of thing.
And I guess geography is the commonality, right? A lot of times with institutions, or with conferences, you want to have some type of like-minded concept, but I guess for you guys, it's geography, right?
Right. It really is. We have 10 institutions in Colorado, 2 in South Dakota, 1 in Nebraska, 2 right now in Utah, and 1 in New Mexico. So you'd think with that big of a footprint, we'd have options, but that really is a challenge for us as we look at membership changes, for sure.
But they are members, right? So then there has to be some form of cohesion that you guys have to do leading the conference. Talk to me about how you guys bring cohesion to that group that is kind of all over the place, right? And different types of institutions, too.
Right, we do. We have public institutions, private institutions, different kind of institutions with different leaders that have different perspectives. Thankfully, we're all collegial, and usually we can get down to what's best for the RMAC. But there are some interesting conversations as we get to that point throughout the years.
Excellent, excellent. Now tell me about your role in the conference, but then when these things start to happen, what do you do? Like, what's your activation when these things start to happen?
So I play a very instrumental role in our governance structure as far as things that come from coaches committees, our subcommittees, and those different groups as they go to athletics administrators and presidents. Specific to membership, I'm actually currently going to start reevaluating our previous membership study to see if those institutions are still in play, and then present that to our presidents. So, As far as gathering information and providing all the information our membership needs to make decisions, I play a vital role in that, in helping our presidents do their research, I guess. They're going to do their own research, but hopefully I can provide them all the information they need to make a good decision.
You're 7 years in, right? And as you progress throughout your career, is dealing with conference changes. You're probably learning a lot and getting an excellent education on the ins and outs of conference life. Do you see yourself 20 years from now being a commissioner, or do you see yourself on campus one day?
My personality fits really well at a conference office. I really enjoy being that liaison from our institutions on the national level, and also, helping them come together and come up with solutions that are the best for our conference. Hopefully it's not 20 years. I hope to be a commissioner way before that, but that is definitely my goal, to stay in Division II. I was a Division II student athlete. I like life in the balance. I like the model of Division II, so definitely my goal is to become a Division II commissioner.
I'd imagine with people coming in and out, you probably know a number of people at a number of different institutions. And that's probably an asset. I mean, I would imagine that's an asset for you over your last
Yeah, and
years.
I see every year, obviously we've talked about membership changes, but we have 15, 16 institutions in our conference, so I see 15 or 16 different ways to lead an athletic department, and seeing those different perspectives I think is really helpful. I may not be on campus, but I have a good understanding of what's going on.
Of the various leadership styles. So do you have a book or a notepad of you taking notes on, this is what I won't do when I become the leader, and this is what I will do? Like, are you processing information so when you get into your leadership role?
Yes, I would say so. I don't know if I have it in a note, like one specific place, but it's an opportunity, being someone young and new to this position and new to leadership and wanting to work my way up quickly. I'm learning from everybody that I can, whether it's ADs, whether it's my boss, whether I stumble. Everybody makes mistakes, but I'm going to learn from those. And if it's not an actual checklist, it's a mental checklist on what to do next time.
Well, Kirsten, this has been an excellent conversation. It sounds like you have a very promising future in college athletics, and it sounds like you're definitely an asset to those you work with there at the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. Thank you very much for joining us on the One Question podcast.
Yeah, thank you.
That was Kirsten Ford. She's the Associate Commissioner in SWA at the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. And of course, this is Ty Brown with One Question. And keep in mind, the role of a leader is to create and maintain an environment that people want to be a part of. And as always, be better tomorrow than you are today. This episode of One Question is produced by Spades Media Group, solving problems using creative leadership.